name's Mukund and I came first.
My name's Vedant Pradhan Nadimpalli. I came second.
Hi, my name is Saman Deshpande. I came third.
And today we're running for SEWA and we're commemorating the fallen soldiers at 9/11.
So yeah, this is like a 5K event. Like you said, we're trying to commemorate those who died for 9/11. It's a great experience. Like we all ran for a great importance. That's why it kept us motivating us. We kept going through it. And yeah, since it was for a great cause, everyone had a lot of fun. We're gonna have speeches now. So yeah, I think up till now it's been a great event. I think we're still looking forward to some more things that are going on. I had a great time though.
Adding on, I think this is a great way to be healthy, and I had really fun. And even though I didn't get first, we all were proud of each other. So
yeah, we'd like to thank SEWA and for the opportunity to run the 5K. Thank you.
Hey, good morning everyone. So we are doing our annual SEWA 5K event. So this year we are clubbing up with 9/11 National Day of Service, working together with AmeriCorps to increase the spirit of volunteerism. So we did our programs throughout the year, various events, and today is the culmination event. Final event is happening in Virginia. As I speak here, there are dozens of cities across the country which are also doing their final event today in various shapes and form. So spirit to volunteerism, go SEWA.
Gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave?
I would now request Mr. Rohit Deshpande, who is a National SERV Director, who led all the 9/11 related programs in 43 chapters of SEWA International, to give us an overview of what this 9/11 initiative is. Rohit, would you like to come to the podium, please?
So 9/11 brings a mix of emotions and images to all of you. I mean, I remember exactly where I was when this tragedy happened. I was in my graduate office in Freeman Hall in Clemson, and when this happened, first time it happened, we thought we were shocked and we thought it could be an accident. But then in some time we realized that it's a terrorist attack and senseless violence. I remember going in my RA office, my research assistant's office, and sitting there throughout the day, thinking about like what's going to happen and why this is happening. So everybody's life changed after 9/11, including me and millions of Americans. Like I could not see my family for the next 4 years. So it was a hard time for everybody. But on the same day, after some time, I could see that I could see the stories coming up of heroism, generosity, and people helping each other. The police officers, the fire officers, and all of them putting themselves in harm's way. I heard, and I could never forget some stories like Wells Crowther. You may have heard, like the man with red bandana, and then Gwen Winnick, who got the first medal for like 9/11 heroes in 2009. Glenn used to work. He was a volunteer firefighter. He used to work across the street from the towers. And he not only evacuated folks from his office, but then he went with his medic bag into the tower, and he never came back. So, all these things around 9/11, even after 9/11, that people keep helping each other with giving food, blankets, computers. It just never ended. The spirit of volunteerism continued. And in 2009, it was declared as a National Day of Service. So this year, SEWA partnered with AmeriCorps and many other organizations to implement this National Day of Service around the country. So we divided country into 16 metropolitan regions. We did more than 150 events across the country in 43 different cities. The theme this year that was selected was environmental stewardship. So, and you know, I could not believe when people are tasked with something, how innovative they can become. So they came up with various ways to implement this environmental stewardship. So as we come to 9/11 day right now, like as I speak right now, this event is happening maybe in a dozen other cities around the country. So in next 2 weeks, we are going to do this event in 33 different cities, and there are going to be more than 55 different events. So I can give you some examples. I mean, it is so overwhelming that like in West Coast, right, in Bay Area, there were small kids, elementary school kids. They worked with their teacher to develop the garden in a senior center. And then in some other school there, they work with their teachers to build the garden in their own school. There is an innovative way that people come up with called giving the bags which are like environmental friendly, and then coming up with those and then giving them in the underprivileged areas. So I remember in Dallas, in Texas, when they did this event, like an old lady, like with 93 she was 93 years old. She came and she said that, thank you so much for doing this, because I never thought I can contribute. And thank you for coming up with all these activities and giving us the chance to partner with you guys. Then I remember when I went to New Jersey for the groundbreaking event of 9/11 Memorial that is happening on September 11th. So the SEWA is building a 9/11 Memorial in South Jersey. So a 91-year-old veteran, he got so emotional. So in all these events, I remember when we did an invasive plant removal in DC, there was a guy came from a local church, and he was the interfaith group. And he told me that there cannot be a better way to bring all of us together than this. So this has been an overwhelming response. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you all coming here. Thank you.
Thank you, Rohit. As Mr. Deshpande mentioned, SEWA DC chapter conducted multiple environmental stewardship events during this year. Let us hear from one of the distinguished guests, Ms. Venessa Gold, about the importance of environmental stewardship. Ms. Venessa Gold is a program manager with Clean Fairfax, a local non-profit and lifelong environmentalist. She will discuss environmental stewardship and its benefits for personal health and well-being. Ms. Gold, please come up to the podium.
Hello, everyone. First, let me please offer you some congratulations for completing a 5K run. What a wonderful event on a beautiful morning for a very good cause. So my name is Venessa Gold, and as Shweta just told you, I'm a program manager for Clean Fairfax, which was begun in 1978 as a litter task force within Fairfax County government, and then incorporated as a 501c3 nonprofit in 1985. Today, we encourage environmental stewardship and urban sustainability in Fairfax County and beyond through education, programming, and community involvement. Clean Fairfax works on litter prevention efforts. We promote community cleanups and support reducing, reusing, and recycling. We're also a clearinghouse for environmental information in Fairfax County. So today I'd like to talk to you a bit about how connecting to and caring for our natural world supports our own personal health and well-being. I invite you to take a moment of quiet to listen, look, and feel yourself in the moment and in our surroundings. So please, if you'd like, close your eyes and take several slow, deep breaths to notice what is going on inside of you. Send your senses inward, relax, and just breathe. Every breath that we take is an exchange with plants on this planet. When we exhale, carbon dioxide enters the atmosphere, and the plants around us take this up and combine it with sunlight and water to make energy. That's photosynthesis. They breathe out oxygen, which we and other animals breathe in and use to metabolize our own food and make energy. So you see, we are completely intertwined with nature, with every breath, even though we don't always recognize it. Now I invite you to send your senses outward. What do you hear? How do you feel? What do you see around you that's part of the natural environment? Now check in with how you're feeling. Now that you have slowed down for a moment to pay attention to yourself and your surroundings, are you feeling relaxed, energized, peaceful, connected? Scientific research points consistently to the fact that when we spend time in nature, it benefits our well-being. Time in forests, in particular, can bring our pulse rate down, lower our blood pressure, relieve anxiety, and boost our immune system. It also increases our sense of awe and wonder, and we are more likely to feel empathy toward others. There was a very recent study in Louisville, Kentucky that was just published a couple weeks ago, and it showed that when a neighborhood is planted with trees and shrubs, and it is made greener, the residents experienced a 13% reduction in inflammation in their bodies, which has significant positive impacts on cardiovascular health. So what is stewardship? Stewardship is defined as the careful and responsible management of something entrusted to one's care. The goal of environmental stewardship is to make sure that our air, water, soil, and biodiversity are healthy and resilient. I'd like to offer my congratulations to all the members of SEWA International that you've already been engaged in, removing invasive plants, planting trees, cleaning up litter in parks. All of these actions are making a difference, not only to the natural environment, but to you yourselves. And when you attend an event like today's or like one of those events, when you give service to something that is larger than yourself, it benefits your sense of community, your sense of belonging, and your own sense of well-being. When you care for nature and our planet's resources, it's the same thing. We all belong to this planet and we are part of this natural community. And we are all responsible for caring for it in the best way that we can. And here's the key. When we do our part, we will feel better physically and mentally. And we'll feel better about ourselves. So anytime you can get outside to experience a natural environment, you get all the health benefits that I talked about on top of these altruistic feelings of contribution. And if you do these things with friends and family, neighbors, and even strangers, you benefit from the social connections and the knowledge that we're all helping each other live full and healthy lives. So what are some other environmental stewardship opportunities that you might have? We've already mentioned cleaning up litter, planting plants and trees, removing invasive plants. Talked about caring for a garden. You might grow vegetables or flowers to beautify your surroundings and to provide for your own family's nutrition. You could maintain a trail in a local park so that you and others have a place to walk and enjoy nature. You might participate in a citizen science project. These are research projects that are conducted usually by a university or government organization where members of the public who aren't necessarily scientists go out and observe and record things that are going on in nature and then report back to the researchers. And this contributes to a large body of data that can move research forward in our understanding of the natural world. Writing can be another form of environmental stewardship. You might write an article for your school newsletter, a letter to the editor, or a letter to an elected official to let them know about the issues that you care about. Educating yourself and others is another important form of stewardship, gaining and sharing knowledge about how to care for the environment. Ultimately, what we understand, we care about, and what we care about, we protect. I'd also like to briefly touch on the concept of the 3 R's, which we've all probably heard of: reduce, reuse, and recycle. And I propose that we add several more R's to that. First, to rethink how we relate to our resources and to examine our personal actions relating to those resources. Can you refuse to use single-use items like shopping bags or single-use water bottles or coffee cups? Can you reuse a bag, a bottle, or a cup or any other article? Then there's repair and repurpose. You might upcycle something, swap some clothes, some household tools or other items, puzzles and games. I see there's a book exchange going on here, which is an excellent example of that. You could attend a fix-it clinic at a local library that are being put on in Fairfax County to repair broken items instead of buying new. Then there's rot. Rot is another way of saying composting. So anytime you could save your food scraps or your yard waste or your grass clippings and compost them either at your own place or you can drop off food scraps at any Fairfax County farmers market and they will be composted. And that saves them from being just tossed in the trash and going to the landfill. So after you do all those things, rethink, refuse, reduce, reuse, repair, and rot, then recycle. Recycle should be at the end of the equation here. And it's especially important to recycle things like paper, cardboard, metal, and glass, because those are easily recycled and can be infinitely turned back into the same thing. And I would say try to stay away as much as you can from plastic. It's really difficult to recycle plastic, but when you can recycle it, you should. And just check with your recycling service provider to find out how to do it properly. And that's it. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you for your interest. Thank you all.
Our second guest is Delegate Vivian Watts. Ms. Watts represents Virginia's 39th district, and I would like to invite Ms. Watts to at the podium and say a few words.
I've been in elected office for a number of years. Normally I don't say that, but I think this is the time for me to relate to where I was on 9/11. My son had graduated college in Southern California. I was returning from a morning meeting because it was an elected official, of course, on an absolutely glorious day, and this is as close to that day as I can remember as I pulled into my driveway. And I got a call from my son in California. Mom, have you seen the news? And just like was related, I'm assuring him, his mother is assuring him that no, that's got to be an exaggeration. I'm sure And then, sitting in Annandale, I heard a large boom, conjunction, and that was hitting the Pentagon, I later found out. I wanted to use those details because hopefully it conveys just real life that was going on an absolutely glorious, perfect day. But it was also a campaign year. So I was out knocking on doors. Obviously, I didn't go back out knocking on doors right away. And when I did, I very seldom did anything like a normal campaign spiel, because I found almost immediately that it was important for me, the elected official, the representative of government, whatever level you're at, to be there to listen, to try on occasion to reassure, to commend the first responders, to understand what had happened to the degree that we could, but mostly, and that's why I really commend the day of service that has grown out of that, but mostly to listen to people who were very, very, I'll use a phrase, shook to the core about their own security. Anything that they had experienced in their life of that insecurity was triggered. Any problem that they were dealing with was magnified because they no longer had the security that we had taken for granted, underscore, underscore, as Americans. And now let me go just a moment then forward from that as far as my own self. One of the other things that I was aware of, again, as a long-time elected official, had been very much involved in all the issues around the development of Dulles Airport. Now, what does that have to do with anything? Because I'm a nerd and I remember this fact, that business is done within a day's travel. And that if we didn't fully develop Dulles Airport, we couldn't do the business that we needed to do not only of this area of the nation's capital. And in that phrase, business is done within a day's travel, I translated it to, and war is within a day's travel. And this continent no longer had the blessed isolationist protection that we had assumed for its whole being. And now we had to know about, to understand, and to be constructively involved in many, many, many cultures, many ethnicities, many histories, many religions that we just had stepped away from because we were here. So what I have seen then in these 2 decades, and certainly representing Annandale as I do inside the Beltway, and having represented much of Springfield as well, is very much plays out with what played out in the months that followed in 9/11. As key people in the community, we had a Palestinian who was head of the Annandale Chamber at the time, and he made sure that we got to the mosque. He made sure that we were aware as he participated in various meetings, that we understood where this came from and not the overjudgment. I remember dealing with person after person, many, like I see here, if you weren't white, by God, were you to be trusted? If you were wearing some different clothing, were you to be trusted? And in the decades that followed, I've seen progress. I've seen a day like today happen, where everybody is part of what the people I saw door to door desperately needed. Community reaching out to them and saying that we got your back. We're there for you. Whether it's first responders or whether it is all of the days of service that have come forward as the community says all of us are there for each other. And yes, let me say, partly out of my own sense of being, but also what I have experienced, amongst others. What you just heard about the day of service that you're participating in, yes, nature makes a difference in that sense of well-being, that I am at a place on this amazing earth, in this amazing universe, that is good. And that on a beautiful day that was destroyed so many years ago, beautiful days still happen, and they're there for all of us to come together as community. Thank you for letting me share it.
Thank you, Ms. Watts. Our next guest is Ms. Rachna Heiser. Ms. Heiser is a Randolph district member on the Fairfax County School Board. I would like to invite Ms. Heiser to the podium, please.
Well, first, hello runners. What a gorgeous day you all had for your race. It is amazing. I used to be a runner myself, I'll admit. I've run 4 full marathons and I've run several halves, and so I know what it feels like to get up early in the morning and run and accomplish something. So thank you for coming out here. My name is Rachna Heiser. I am the Braddock District School Board member on the Fairfax County School Board. In the last term, I was one of the at-large members, which meant I represented the entire county. And I had the honor of being the first Asian American woman and first Indian American person to win countywide Fairfax County. And that is an honor. And that is a testament to our growing diverse community. That is a testament to people who come here and believe in this country, and believe in its values, and believe that it is a great place for everybody. One of the best things I saw was your students here singing the national anthem. It warmed my heart. My parents came here from India also. And when I was growing up, service wasn't a thing that was part of what I was raised with. It just wasn't. But where I learned that I could be bigger than myself, where I could give back, where I could thank first responders, where I could make a difference in my community, was in public school. I remember being in 5th grade and my teacher introducing us to the concept of writing to our elected officials about something we cared about. And she introduced us to the Save the Whales campaign, right? And I'm dating myself a little bit, but it was, hey, the whales are endangered. This impacts all of us because we are all interconnected. So you can write a letter to help save a whale. And I'm talking to the students out there. I was like, I can save a whale? I'm 10 years old. How am I supposed to save a whale? But it woke this thing in me that made me realize that all of us, the students, no matter how old you are, no matter how well you speak English, no matter where you come from, where you're born, who you love, we can all make a difference in the world we share together. And so I wrote a letter, and I'm hoping I saved a whale. I don't know if I did, but we all are connected. So I want to first just stop for a minute and say, 9/11, I think, showed us that. It really showed us that. It was this shockwave through our system. And then we watched as we responded to that shockwave of people from all walks of life coming together. We watched our first responders doing so much and sacrificing so much. So thank you for your work, your sacrifice. And we watched, thank you for what you do. We watched ordinary people do extraordinary things. And that's what I want to share with you. Ordinary people, everyday people, people at all walks of life can do extraordinary things. So take that with you. One of the reasons I ran for school board is I felt like I wanted to represent my community. I wanted to represent my Hindu values. In the Hindu faith, serving others is a way of worshiping God. Right? And that's something I wanted to represent. I wanted to represent the concept of dana, of charity, of seva, of selfless giving, selfless service. The Hindu worldview believes we're all interconnected, right? And there's nothing better than taking of yourself and making somebody else's world better. There is nothing better than that. And so I encourage you all to do that. I remember on 9/11, to share a personal story, we had just moved to the DC area from California. And I had a 2.5-year-old daughter, and I was pregnant with my son. And I remember we had literally just moved here, so my daughter and I were still a little bit on California time, so we were asleep. I was home with her at the time, and my husband called from work. And he said, turn the TV on. And I was pretty pregnant. I'm like, I'm pregnant, I'm tired, we just moved here, why am I gonna turn the TV on? I don't want to sleep. And I turned it on, and I was like, oh my God, what has happened to our world? My husband was working in DC, I'm thinking, how's he gonna get home? He walked 5 miles to get home that day. Little did he know I would outshine him by running 26 a few years later. But that's what we did. And that was the day when I was like, what can I do to make my children's world a safe place for them and for every other child? What can I do to represent my Hindu values, my community, to teach the next generation that hate cannot divide us? Right? And love for our planet, love for our world, love for each other can bring us together. So I leave you with this. Education is the great equalizer. Through education, everybody can get their start. That is how my parents came here from India. My dad was a Fulbright scholar to Stanford. My mom got a PhD in IIT in India in computer science, when no women were doing this. That is how they came here, through education. So when you think about our schools, that is how we create the world and make it better for our next generation. So if you do one thing, go support your local school, go volunteer, go show students who don't have maybe the same supports at home, that even if you don't have the supports at home, we're there for you, we got your back. Because every child deserves a bright future, right? So, I sincerely thank you for all you do. Congratulations to the runners out there. Thank you to the first responders. And please remember, it is through education that we build a better world. Thank you very much.
Our next guest is retired Colonel Dave Weinberg. Mr. Weinberg served 26 years in the United States Air Force, including as a Comptroller at Headquarters Air Education and Training Command at Randolph Air Force Base in Texas. I would like to invite our speaker to the podium, share thoughts with us about patriotism, spirit of volunteerism, and selfless service, which strongly emerged after 9/11. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to be part of your amazing journey of giving. For what you do each and every day for people, for the lives you save each and every day, for being here today to make a difference. Thank you. Not just for the runners, but for everybody here. Give yourselves a round of applause for just being here, doing, and making a difference. And let us also recognize our significant others, our moms and dads, our spouses who keep the home fires burning, that also allow us to come out and make a difference. Give the moms and dads a round of applause. Come on. Now, speaking of spouses, I asked my wife what I should talk about today, and she said, you should talk about 10 minutes. But relax, like a guy whose GPS says you're going to get there at 3 o'clock, I'm going to beat that time, so I'm going to talk less than 10 minutes. Now, fortunately, the SEWA leadership did give me a topic and asked me to talk about service. Now, Shweta kind of just changed that in her intro to me, but I'm still talking about service, which is a pillar of your organization. The interesting thing about service, when I talk to you about it, it's preaching to the choir. because I think you understand service. But as I look across this audience, I do rejoice in the fact that we are all different. We look different, we grew up differently, we were educated differently, we have different backgrounds. Yet we are here today, same. So it is the difference. The difference we make in our lives, the difference we make in our families' lives, the difference we make in people's lives that we don't even know. It is the difference that makes us the same. This sameness also makes us stronger. Serving together, learning from each other, growing from each other, learning the importance of unity, the strength of resilience, the power of service. And I would add to that list the need for leadership. And you heard the other speakers talk about being part of something bigger than yourselves. Wow. We are strong because of that. You are strong because you are part of something bigger than yourselves. So give yourself another round of applause. Come on. There we go. Now what I see today is that you have learned two things that took me many years to learn. First, making a difference is not a destination. You don't get somewhere like a school board or elected official or the corner office to then start making a difference. You have realized that making a difference is a journey. You do it along the way. And if you make a difference for just one person, that matters, and that's a win. Now, making a difference reminds me of the starfish story. Some of you may have heard that before, but I'm going to tell it anyways. There was a horrific storm that washed up thousands of starfish on the beach. And out on the beach that morning was a little 6-year-old girl. She was bending down, pick up a starfish, she'd throw it back into the ocean. She'd bend down, pick up a starfish, and throw it back in the ocean. And as she went on that morning, a crowd started gathering on the boardwalk. And finally a man came down from the boardwalk all the way down to the beach to confront the little girl. And he said, "What are you doing?" She said, "I'm putting the starfish back in the ocean." And he looked across the beach and he said, "There are thousands of starfish here. You can't possibly make a difference." And she looked up at the man, her eyes filled with tears. She looked down at the starfish. She looked up at the man. She picked up a starfish, threw it back into the ocean, and then looked at the man and said, "I made a difference for that one." By the end of the day, all the people on the boardwalk had come down to the beach. And by the end of the day, all the starfish were back in the ocean. The second thing that took me years to learn is that when you do something, do it without expectation. You don't do it for a promotion, you don't do it for money, you don't do it for a pat on the back, you don't even do it so someone says thank you. And you've heard most of your life that two wrongs don't make a right. But what you understand is that two rights don't make a wrong. You see, if you do the right thing for the right reason, then it can't be wrong. And if you do that without expectation, wow, that's powerful. The interesting thing about doing it without expectation also means you have no disappointments. Think about that. Hey, he didn't pay me for that. Hey, she didn't say thank you. But you know what? That's okay because you didn't do it for that. You did the right thing for the right reason. So thank you for the difference that you make on your journey of service. Now I have one more thing for you to think about. One final thought. It was a sign that I saw in the neighborhood. It was sitting by itself. It was simple. It had 3 words. And I think it's the secret to success. It simply said, humankind, be both. Isn't that powerful? So thank you for the opportunity to share with you. God bless you all, and God bless America. Thank you.
Our next segment is prize distribution. I would like to call upon Ms. Heiser to come up here, and we'll give the prizes to our 5K winners. Okay, so the first one we have is Mukund Mari. I had the time. Chetan, could you help us?
Yes. 20 minutes 40 seconds.
There we go. 20 minutes 40 seconds. Good job. Good job. And the second we have is Veda Nadampalli. And the timing is 22 minutes 54 seconds. Good job. Thank you. Okay, you guys can take your seats, please. And in the female category, we have Avantika Guru. She did it in 29 minutes 47 seconds. And the second one we have is Vinobini Ramajajur. Hope I'm pronouncing it right. Do we have Vinobini? Okay, no problem. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot, Ms. Nelson. Okay, so under the umbrella of 9/11 initiative, as we have spoken about it, we have conducted multiple environmental events this year to appreciate participation from our youth volunteers. We would like to give them the certificate. So I would like to call upon Ms. Watts. Please come here. And Anushka will hand over the certificates to Ms. Watts, and I'll call upon the names of the volunteers. Please come up on the stage and get the certificate from Ms. Watts. The first one we have is Tanmay Deshpande. Good run. Soham Deshpande. Mukund Mari. Akli Mari. We have Om More. We have Nithi Khod. Okay. We have Neen Khod. Okay. Megha More. Come on, come on. Naisha Gupta. Next up is Pragya Modi. Reva More. And last one is Anushka Sharma. We have a lot of certificates from other volunteers as well, and we'll give out to them later. Thank you, Ms. Rose. Here, I would like to request Ms. Heiser, Ms. Weinberg, Mr. Weinberg, as well as Bala, please come up. And Vishalji, please come up on the stage as well. Ms. Gold, I would like to request you as well to come up here. So we would like to present to our distinguished speakers a memento from SEWA as a token of appreciation. So these are prepared from our artisans from Gujarat, Kutch area. This year, SEWA wants to celebrate their work and bring their art, love and blessings to you all. Thank you.
With the local tribals to give them opportunity for employment and other things, just to be able to bring their art around the world. So they have prepared these and sent it to us so that we can keep this work. Thank you. Quick. So, thank you again everyone for coming on. We gathered here today to honor the victims of 9/11 and to celebrate the spirit of service that emerged from that tragic event. President Obama, when he signed the Serve America Act that initiated the observance of September 11 as a National Day of Service and Remembrance, said that the best way to not feel hopeless is to get up and do something good. Don't wait for good things to happen to you. And if you go out and make some good things or do some good things, you will fill the world with hope and you will fill yourself with hope. And those words stay true today as we come out here and have this run and work towards the sustainability program. I think, and all the speakers who spoke here today, in some shape or form, mentioned the same spirit or gave the same message to everyone here. So I'm really honored to be the president of SEWA International for Washington, D.C. chapter. I got involved with this great organization about 5 years back, and since then, it has been truly my pleasure to continue to work with all the volunteers that are extremely motivated and committed to doing good, to serving the humanity. So for those who do not know much about SEWA, we have been around for about 20 years and primarily run by volunteers. Our overhead is just 3%, so anytime we go and apply for government grants, we have to justify as to why are you performing at 3%, because everybody that works for SEWA is a volunteer and very few staff members. We have 3 primary goals: helping people suffering from natural disasters. SEWA has helped over 30 natural disasters, be it floods, be it forest fires, be it COVID-19. The second goal is to help with family and education services, whether it's doing case management for domestic violence for people who have gone through that, or helping out with STEM education in schools, in Title I schools and other places. And the third one, which is equally crucial, is volunteer development. And under that program, this entire 9/11 Day of Service and our partnership with AmeriCorps really came together. In Washington, D.C., we run multiple programs. Primary one of them is the LEAD program, where the high school students sign up for a year-long volunteering program and commit to provide at least 100, or in some cases 150 hours of volunteer services. SEWA provides them with the Presidential Medal for the volunteer services. We are one of the organizations that is authorized to give those out. We have 70 kids who are participating in this program. Youth for SEWA organizes several activities like sandwich drives, coat drives, book sales. So, I mean, those of you who have not been engaged with SEWA, I really encourage you, all the guests, all the runners, to get to know SEWA. And please take the time to really engage with us. There is tremendous opportunities for everyone to contribute and benefit from. So in concluding, I would like to thank all the distinguished guests and our partners, including Ms. Venessa Gold, Delegate Vivian Watts, Fairfax County School Board Member Ms. Rachna. Your presence has been really appreciated. I want to thank our guest speaker, today. Really appreciate you coming out today. Again, thank you for all the runners who woke up early and came out today and made this a great success for us. And of course, I would be remiss if I did not thank all the volunteers of SEWA who made this happen. So, Chetanji, Kananji, Atulji, Ramji, Swarupji, Sagarji, and of course, our CERB National Director, Rohitji Deshpande. Thank you for all the organization, all the effort that you put into it. And last but not the least, please give a big round of applause for our MC, Shweta ji, for planning, organizing, emceeing this incredible event. Not only that, she has been providing tireless leadership for the entire 9/11 Day of Service program for the Washington, D.C. Tremendous contribution and planning and effort with the Fairfax County Park Services and several other partners that she has really brought together to help. Really appreciate everything that she does. Thank you, everyone.
हर हर महादेव संगठन में शक्ति है.
Hi everyone, I'm Vishal Khera. I'm the president of SEWA International Washington DC chapter, and it is my honor to host this 9/11 Day of Service and Remembrance, where we honor all the lives that we lost as part of that tragic event, but at the same time celebrate the spirit of volunteerism and selfless devotion to the country that came out of that particular tragic event. So as part of SEWA International's partnership with AmeriCorps, we have run an year-long celebration of Day of Service, where we are this year's theme was sustainability. Our volunteers, over 250 of them in the Washington, D.C. area, did several events, whether it was cleaning the parks, removing the invasive species, planting new trees, and are just looking to give back to the community that we are living in. And as part of this continued service, we hope to continue our partnership with AmeriCorps for the next year and continue to provide support to the communities that we are living in. As Hindu scriptures say that serving humanity is serving God or serving divinity, we truly embrace that feeling, and we want to continue to provide service within the communities that we are living in so that we can make the world a better place. Thank you, everyone.
Hey everyone, my name is Shweta. I'm a volunteer at SEWA International. Today we had a 9/11 SEWA International culmination event. SEWA International has collaborated with AmeriCorps to do for the National Day of Service, which is September 11. At this event today, we had various distinguished guests, including Miss Vivian Watts, who is a delegate for Virginia's 39th district. We had Colonel Dave Weinberg. We had Miss Rachna Weiser, and we had another guest whose name is Miss Vivian Gold. She's from Clean Fairfax. And they spoke about their reflection on 9/11 and environmental stewardship. So this year, SEWA International Washington DC chapter conducted several events on the environmental stewardship, which included tree plantation, park cleanups, invasive plant removal, and there's no other way of ending or culminating our 9/11 effort by emphasizing the importance of maintaining our environment. Thank you.